everybody, welcome back. This is the Quake World Championship Finals presented by AMD, and we're going to be going back to our first match. It's now underway and ready to go. vo versus k1llsen. We've talked about this match quite extensively, and we've already talked about what we kind of expect to see, where the champions might be a little bit different. Maps will be really, really important, and the fact that this is very much a run back from regionals. You know, k1llsen was able to take that win over vo, but vo, as we go later into the world of Quake Champions, and especially at QuakeCon, we are live from QuakeCon 2017. vo is riding a lot of momentum, and he does get better as the tournament progresses.
And just to sort of reiterate some of the more significant points before we get into this match and find out what maps they've selected, this is vo versus k1llsen. These are two long-time Quake players internationally, and very successful Quake players and arena shooter players in general. They know what it means to play on the world stage. They know what it means to win big on the biggest stages there are. But with that being said, this is, said, QuakeCon 2017. This is the biggest stage Quake Champions alone has ever seen, and with a ridiculous amount of prize money, $1 million on the line, single elimination. You lose this series, you are out. All this work up until this point, not for nothing, because you've still won a little bit of money for getting this far, but the difference in prize money from now until the later stages of the tournament is night and day.
So players have already achieved it, and basically around sort of like 10,000 for just getting this far, but the prize pot is a lot bigger than 10,000. That $1 million pot.
100K first place. That's a nice amount of life-changing money for you.
And this is single elimination, which means that if you win, obviously you move on. But if you lose here, you're out of the championship. You know, this is the last chance for everyone. So I think mental fortitude is going to be tested. Stamina will be tested. It's how long can you play at your best throughout the course of an entire day. And really, the entire bracket is a Shark Tank. Everyone in this top
There is
16
no easy game. There is no
ridiculous.
easy road to the top. But while we get into this match, have a look at what maps have been selected. This is going to be first to 2 maps, and we'll see each player will be able to choose their first map. We'll see that soon, what they've picked with.
It's going to be foreshadowing. These maps are going to be super important. The first pick was vo's Blood Covenant, makes sense. k1llsen going in for Corrupted Keep instead, which I'm actually be really interested to see. And then the final map being Ruins of Sarnath. We have a nice blend of different playstyles here. Corrupted Keep really is the elephant in the room when it comes to duel, because it is so different. It's close quarters, it's aggressive. Those big champions like Sorlag benefit so greatly. Anarchy, it's a great map for Anarchy as well, the Corrupted Keep. And the fact there's no rail means that it's just played completely differently. The super weapons become like nail gun, heavy machine gun, and rocket launcher, because they're really like, you know, the new combination you kind of have to go with. Obviously lightning gun as well. But Blood Covenant being first, k1llsen played really well on Blood Covenant when they last fought. So the fact that vo's gone with it first, interested to kind of see what he brings to the table here.
This is probably a comfort thing for vo. We know vo is, Anarchy is by far and away his strongest champion, like easily his best. And he has one of the best Anarchies going. So this being a great map for Anarchy with the way that we know he likes to play, I think it's a good map to play a combination. But the question is, that's duel, right? You don't have to pick just one. You need a team of 3 champions. And so far we've seen plenty of Sorlag, plenty of Ranger, plenty of Nyx, plenty of Anarchy. But I guess we'll have to wait and see what they go with. k1llsen going for Ranger, who's a bit of a jack of all trades.
Especially on Blood Covenant. He's one of those unique champions that, depending on his spawn point, he can have an amazing start. And unfortunately, kind of looks like the game went down a little bit, so we're going to get that match up and running as soon as possible. But Ranger first. Ranger or Blood Covenant, just there really isn't anything he can't do. If he has a good spawn, if he spawns sort of near the heavy armor location, the Dire Orb allows him to essentially get 3 major items in like the blink of an eye. Now, he can get the heavy armor, he can throw that Dire Orb. If he's on the bridge particularly, you know, where he can get the rocket launcher, jump down to heavy armor, throw the Dire Orb towards rail, collect heavy armor, teleport to rail. He's got rocket, rail, and heavy armor the second the round begins.
Well, Blood Covenant is just a very tall map, right? So think about it, the layers. You've got the absolute bottom, which is down near the blood pits, where you get the LG and the small armor, super shotgun. One floor up, you've kind of got the mid-level, where you know, has sort of heavy armor, sort of curve near railgun, sort of just below, and then you've got a few armor pickups and stuff like that. And then you've got that top level, which is rocket, mega health, railgun at the top. But because it's a very tall map, obviously being high above your opponent is a bit of an advantage, because obviously it's harder for them to hit you, there's stuff getting in the way, and you're looking down on them, and they have a lot more space to run around, but it's open space. Ranger can just do a great job of being off the ground as long as possible.
Well, really on Blood Covenant, if you control the high ground, you have control of the map. because you've got access to Mega Health, which is up top, Rail's going to be up top, Rocket Launcher is up top. It's very quick for you to just get those little health pickups, but it's not really necessarily for you, because if you're controlling the top of the map, you've already got the Mega, so you don't necessarily need the small health items. You can easily get a good vision down on someone who tries to take the heavy armor, and then just wreck them yourself. As they try and go down, you just rail them or rocket them or whatever. So if you're on the top of the map, it's difficult for the opponent to really get anything important. They really have to just get those little armors, those little healths, while you have complete vision of exactly where everyone goes. And on top, you got good audio as well. You can hear where the guys are.
I think it's a nice diverseness, right? That how differently the champions can play that map. So Ranger is great at sort of getting from long distances almost instantaneously, but then you've got Anarchy and Nyx, and even Slash, that they don't have to be anywhere but that top level. They can almost like circuit around and they make crazy jumps without needing a weapon, without needing anything. All they need is speed and skill of the player to hit those jumps. And those are two champions that we've been seeing a lot today, and I expect we'll see more and more of them as we go on. But when it comes to tanky champions, let's talk about the way the meta sort of shifted. Early on, very early on in the game's life, we saw lots of Scale Bearer, a lot of Scale Bearer, especially on Blood Covenant too.
Yeah.
But now, moving through, Clutch became everyone's sort of new best friend when he got his adjustments and was sort of just really figuring out how to play him. And now it seems to be Sorlag. So when it comes to big body champions, do you think Sorlag is going to be the only one we'll see today, or will certain players go back to those other choices?
It's hard to say, because q1llsen actually uses Clutch quite often. As far as I do believe I've seen vo use Clutch a couple of times before as well, but q1llsen, he has a lot of competitive experience with Clutch, so the fact that q1llsen went in for Corrupted Keep might suggest that we see a Clutch pick from him. But the way the game currently is and how dangerous Sorlag is, where she's got the most health, really is in many ways the tankiest champion, but she's got some of the highest damage output because of the Acid Spit as well. If we see Corrupted Keep, it kind of used to be, we're probably going to see Clutch, and then maybe someone will answer back with the BJ Blazkowicz because it's just the damage output. But now, if you want damage output, everyone's kind of just going to Sorlag. If you want damage, you're not really picking BJ anymore, you're going with Sorlag instead for a similar reward. She's going to be just as dangerous on respawn because the acid affects immediately. It goes hand in hand with weapons you can pick up really quickly. So I think it just seems to be the case of players deeming that some champions do the same job another champion does, just a bit better for what they need. But the champions they're not selecting still do that job well.
I mean, I would still like to see BJ Blazkowicz get picked a bit more though in response, because how many times are we seeing these big, scary champions have a big impact, especially on maps like Corrupted Keep, where, you know, Clutch Barrier, his ability to just stick to you like glue, Sorlag, crazy damage output, not a lot of space to run around. But Blazkowicz has always been that really good answer to just shredding down life. And whereas Blazkowicz was seen as a counter to characters like champions like Clutch that was great on Corrupted Keep, at the very least there was like a game of, you know, chicken, right, where would you pop dual wield first and then he barrier? Do you wait for barrier and then dual wield, or do you just almost like have that sort of mind game element to it? Whereas Sorlag versus Blazkowicz, Sorlag can't do anything to stop that damage. If you're close enough for the acid to shred you down, you're probably close enough for a dual wielded anything to delete Sorlag in a similar fashion. And Blazkowicz isn't a very squishy champion by himself. It's about that sort of medium health range, and he's got that inherent life regen, so maybe we'd like to see him a bit more on Corrupted Keep.
I think the big issue Blazkowicz will have against Sorlag is that he has no mobility in terms of ability, doesn't give him any mobility, and his passive doesn't either. So if he's within the range of the acid, there's not really a huge amount he's going to be able to do to get away from that, you know. And he
maybe kills you first.
Yeah,
maybe.
You may be sort of banking on a trade. He definitely doesn't have the health that other champions have either. He's sort of almost like on the lines of like a sort of like a k1llsen or a Slash, similar to like a Ranger as well, I suppose. But right now, if people want damage, I think they're just going in with Sorlag. It makes the most sense. She's really safe pick. She's got loads of health. She's got loads of armor. She has the damage as well. Deceivingly tanky because of her passive also, but looks like the match is back underway.
Going straight in with Anarchy is not a surprise. Definitely his star champion there with the Nyx as well. Nyx as well from q1llsen, seen him play a ton of Nyx. Not a huge surprise to see him go with it now at all.
We mentioned this was his favourite champion. Nyx is the champion he likes the most. Fantastic map for.
That's how we got that Slash. Slash with a head I haven't seen before.
It's that new update. So much new content. Ranger looks cool as well.
Then vo bringing out, again, Sorlag. So Sorlag really much being the favoured big body champion so far. I've already seen how dangerous she can be in those close range situations. Blood Covenant alone, I mean, there's so many archways, right, and so many guaranteed ways to almost really nail that acid. So I'll have to see vo bringing that in.
But Slash, Toxic yesterday pulled out the Slash on Blood Covenant, and she was the star champion that just took such a popular strategy with Sorlag in close range and just shut it down. She was able to stay out of range all the time. Her mobility and speed let her just go wherever she wanted faster than basically any champion in the game. And that crouch slide, you know, she's able to dodge, get out of the way of the acid effectively, and I don't know, we'll see if llsen has the same level of, I guess, Slash execution. You know, Toxic being a Quake 4 god means he can take a champion like Slash and just run away with it, basically, no pun intended. But then llsen, haven't really seen him use a huge amount of Slash in a competitive setting, so I'm interested to see what he can do.
I think Slash is a good answer to that, Sorlag. You know, Sorlag being such a consistent problem for some of these players when going through, but being able to juke around, you know, maintaining that speed with the crouch slide in the hands of someone with the execution to pull her off, it can be game-changing.
Yeah, llsen's going to be a little bit more easy to take those teleporters early on because it's unlikely Vu's going to be able to get a rail in time to challenge that teleporter. But once again, guys, this is a run back. llsen and Vu, they collided at regionals. Vu, ever so slightly alive, getting chased down though. llsen with that aggressive Ghost Walk, he's getting the first frag. Oh, ever so slightly misses it. Vu just a little bit off the mark. That was a good start. Vu wastes
seconds as well.
He wastes no time though. He's going straight in for Sorlag. I think he realized if he can catch llsen right now, he can melt the health. He knows the Ghost Walk is going to be down for at least another 15 seconds.
Ghost Walk is down, but llsen did pick up mega health, so it's still going to be quite difficult, I think.
Now with that heavy armor spawning, Vu doesn't really want to push too hard on that one, I don't think.
Yeah, llsen just playing very patient now. I mean, this is what you can do. You know, we've seen that 5 minutes is not a long time in the grand scheme of things. So at any point you have the lead in champions, you just have less to worry about because time is basically on your side. Oh, nice shot, llsen. Alhaji was there, another one back to back. But it is Sorlag on rails. He laughs in the face of that damage.
It's going to be very risky to challenge llsen's rails. This man is no joke with it, but he caught them off guard again. The lightning gun destroys and Acid fails to connect once more.
There's a really good position for llsen to take that fight as well. You know, he had the space to try and juke around that Acid. He had the surprise. Vu didn't have as much time to try and really place that Acid. llsen is going to take him down straight away. Now, Nyx to Nyx. Could Vu make the comebacks that we saw Noctis do early with this champion? Immediately in with the Ghost Walk. Wants no part in that. But you're giving up the Mega Health as well. I think it's a humongous risk to challenge that, especially when you use the Ghost Walk just to not get caught on that jump pad too. Had no defense mechanism if it went bad. I must say though, we've seen llsen play Nyx, I think more than any other champion in this game so far. You know, watching on his stream personally, llsen being such a great streamer and content creator for the game, but we've seen him play this champion a lot, and it really seems to be like his defining comfort zone.
Oh, he did mention it as his favorite champion.
No, you don't.
Maybe trying to catch Vu off guard. But really, no reason for llsen to be a little bit too brave here. He's got 2 champions up. Can be quite passive here.
Always walking into him, I don't think he's seen Vu. Vu with the jump on him, but didn't quite get enough damage. llsen so fully stacked, it's going to be hard for Vu. But there's the aggressive Ghost Walk. Oh! And there's the ambush. Vu starting the momentum.
That was just deliciously executed. Way less work to do. There's just under half of the round left. And he's got to just at least get one more champion just to even things out 1 for 1.
It is Slash though, it's going to be hard to keep up with her. Nyx is a fast champion, but Slash is in a league of her own when it comes to speed. Oh! There's the point-blank fight. llsen has Vu in a bad situation here, and llsen with the lightning gun going to finish Vu off and take his first round in this first map.
That was difficult for Vu. I mean, he wasn't really able to land the rockets that he needed to land in that exchange, minimal damage done. And I think llsen really understood that, well, he's just landed a bunch of rockets here. I'm doing damage to him, and I'm really taking minimal, so I'm just going to go in with the LG and finish the job. But 1 round done already. llsen in the lead.
There's that wall jump. I mean, this is one of the reasons Nyx is so good on this map. I mean, that's why. I mean, being able to not have to hurt herself or use any ammo to get around.
Vu, he's going to be well aware of how much damage he just did to llsen.
Zuko's already trying to stack up, though, really favouring the armor. Vu behind. llsen hasn't quite seen him yet. Oh!
Would have heard that rocket.
It looks like players are... I mean, yeah, it looks like they're playing to avoid each other right now. I think llsen really is favouring getting as stacked up as possible before taking these fights. Now you can see he's got the mega health. Do we see him go in?
Missing a couple. He's missed a couple of these rails in this round, but wow! Having to use the Ghost Walk to survive. That's going to be a free heavy armor.
Yeah, llsen not playing quite as clean as we saw in the first round. Missing a few of these shots. A few of the rockets not quite landing where they should be.
Uh-oh! The fight! Point blank! llsen actually not really taking too much damage. I'm not quite sure Vu was prepared for him to be there.
No, it looked like both players definitely surprised each other right there coming out of that teleporter.
And with that Mega on deck. Some of the tankiest he's going to be with Anarchy so far. He's actually really trying to sort of deny this, but Can't do a huge amount, trying to answer back, but if k1llsen hits one more rail, vo is in a world of hurt.
So that was a bad situation for vo to be in. It seemed like his best weapon for the situation was just a machine gun. And k1llsen trying to fire back with rails, that just is not damage you can trade out in your favor if k1llsen's being accurate, but a few of these rails not quite connecting.
It's been quite a running problem for vo because he hasn't been able to get the rail. I think that's why k1llsen spent so much of the time up on that high ground. Look at where he is, he's by that rail all the time. He does not want vo to get that weapon that he so desperately needs.
Oh, and there's the Ghost Walk pop by k1llsen. vo can get a read on where he's going. No, stayed up on the bridge.
But while he's up here, k1llsen is still going to be able to pepper some of those rails. I mean, trying to get out of there right now because it makes sense. He's nearly dead. Even without access to a rail, vo just needs a couple of good shots and k1llsen will go down.
Still though, no armor on the side of k1llsen. vo has him here, but vo didn't take the fight. vo trying to go towards.
He's going to take that fight for free. Ghost Walk's going to be down. vo knows it. No reason to just not dedicate to that fight. And he's been able to get that frag on board.
I think that was really well played by vo though, realizing that k1llsen was likely to go straight for the armor, and heavy armor as well. vo taking a lot of damage here, machine gun trade not coming out in his favor.
He's had this just actually not having a rail has been quite a constant issue for him. He's got the injection now, but I wonder how long he's going to go before he has a chance to use it. Tries to use the injection to stay alive, has access to the teleporter. That was such a dangerous exchange, but wow, not quite a trade. k1llsen survives with 30 HP.
30 HP on a lightning gun is like a second's worth of damage. vo ever so slightly missing that frag. Tries to shoot the acid though.
Oh no.
vo behind is probably a guaranteed frag. k1llsen does not mess that up.
Unfortunately, I mean, that was such a quick turnaround as well. That was the entire round. They went back and forth. vo gets the important frag, but just like that, he's down again.
k1llsen up on this slash. We saw him deal with vo's nicks quite convincingly in the first round. Again, with that slash time ability, but there's that aggressive Ghost Walk. Oh, looks like k1llsen was more than ready for it to come out of it too, but only 12 HP on the side of k1llsen. Trying to stack himself back up. We can see vo quite low himself, so neither player quite likely to take the fight there.
The problem is vo he couldn't really contest that. Like, when you look at your own HP, yes, you look at the enemy's health and go, right, can I go in for the fight? But you need to look at your own resources as well. If you don't have the health and you eat one rocket, you're dead. Is it worth taking that chance? I don't think vo saw it was worth it at all.
Doesn't look like it, because there's a lot of distance between them though. k1llsen with a one champion advantage here. And almost a minute, 15 seconds to go. Do I think we could go down to overtime at this rate? k1llsen very low. Looking to use that speed of slash to get away, making that jump over to the bridge too.
But again, if k1llsen thinks there's even a chance he's going to go down, he doesn't take the fight. One rail though, that's going to put vo on the back foot. 1 minute warning. k1llsen only needs to survive for 50 extra seconds and he's going to take the round. Oh, yeah, he saw the Ghost Walk. He knows that he's invisible, and there's the plasma trail.
Look at how much deny he covered.
I mean, the second he saw the Ghost Walk, he immediately used the plasma trail to just paint it all over the Mega. If vo wants to get that Mega and survive, he has another thing coming. That was the entire goal right there.
Heavy armor will be up any second now though, but time is against vo at the moment. He has to at least take out slash to trade off to be one champion each, but 20 seconds left to go. k1llsen has the height. It's going to be hard for Nyx to get up here without using a rocket launcher, which is going to put him in a risky situation for k1llsen to top him off.
k1llsen's got that plasma trail also. Once again, just denying the Mega health just in case. Ghost Walk
very surprised to see k1llsen going in for this frag. k1llsen almost misplaying this there. Oh! The frag. I was very surprised to see k1llsen go down there for that frag. Now sudden death, just on the brink of it. vo has thrown a lifeline.
Well, think about it. If he wins this round and it's 1-1, that's it. They're even once more. After such a long round, vo's going in for the kill. Is it going to be enough? He does manage to get it. There was no LG on the side of k1llsen, and vo was more than aware.
Wow, that was such good composure from vo, managing to make that last minute, evening things out to sudden death, and then that immediate fight taken. vo playing that so well.
And just like that, here we are again. 1-1.
Yeah, k1llsen going to be kicking himself for that mistake for sure, but has to sort of just put it behind him now. Big part is moving on. Play the match for what it is. Don't dwell on past rounds if you don't need to.
I mean, this is single elimination. If you lose this series, you're out of the Quake World Championships. There is no time for dwelling on past errors.
Maybe k1llsen wasn't looking at the clock. Maybe he just didn't have that in mind. Maybe he was just convinced he could get the frag anyway. Regardless, moving into the next round, a lot of damage coming out. vo gets the first frag on k1llsen. Now vo is in the driver's seat 30 seconds into this next round.
Timing on the respawn, just in case. So those that may be wondering, just to sort of pepper a certain area down, just in case they spawn there. If they do, free damage. And they've respawned, they can't fight.
I mean, you only respawn with a starting weapon. Not very dangerous, so much damage. k1llsen making these shots. Oh, 3 of them, the injection saving him.
He's hit three.
Chasing it.
He's hit 3 rails in a row, but it's not enough. He's going in for the LG to try and take things a bit safer. With those defensive rockets, keeping vo0 at bay. He can't take this fight. He doesn't want to over-push here.
vo0's accuracy really just reigning supreme there, hitting 3 rails on Anarchy, but that's it. vo0, using that injection at just the right time, was able to keep himself alive. Anarchy's usually quite susceptible to being railed, but if you have access to that injection, you can save yourself.
You very rarely see an Anarchy survive after 3 rails, but hang on. vo0, if he hits 1 more rail, he's going to be in complete advantage, but they miss back to back. They've both got tiny little hitboxes.
Yeah, you can see just how difficult it is going for those shots there, and when you've got that sort of range between you, trying to juke and hit a small target at the same time, I mean, it's a lot more complicated than you might think.
Completely. vo0 has got his injection ready again. We saw how well he can survive. Slash is going to be a little bit better at chasing. Oh,
that just went through him, it looked like, but he's going to get taken away anyway. vo0 with that frag, bringing himself to 3 champions. Anarchy, vo0's star champion, doing so well now. vo0's Ranger left alone to try and make this full comeback.
Doesn't want to jump towards that rail. I think he knew vo0 was probably expecting it. Would have gone for a prediction rocket just in case vo0 went on that location. There's 1 rail, just needs 1 more, and he lands it. His rails in that round were superb. Every single one almost landed, and when it did, it was super significant.
I mean, vo0 was dedicated to picking up that mega health. He sat there through thick and thin, just trying to wait for it to respawn, and vo0 used that to his advantage.
In some ways, he may have kind of like had to, really, because if he gives up the mega and then vo0 collects it, vo0 has just respawned. He hasn't really got the equipment to deal with a fight. So if you've let vo0 collect that mega health, and he's more ready to go than you are, I mean, you can't really survive. We did see a similar play yesterday when it was Rafa versus Cooler. Rafa conceded it and took the risk the same way, but Rafa was able to survive.
Well, Blood Covenant was vo0's choice when it comes to maps, so I don't expect vo0 to look the most comfortable on it. Obviously, after this map, we're going to be going to Corrupted Keep, which was k1llsen's choice. So I'll have to wait and see what happens there when we get there. This could be the last round of the map, but k1llsen, he looked really good in the first couple of rounds.
Oh, wow! Oh, the rocket fails to connect ever so slightly. And k1llsen still weak. That missed rail, if that didn't, vo0 would have easily gone down.
So they're coming down to those single rails. These small targets is much easier said than done. But at the end of the day, you have to do it with this much money on the line. You can't afford to be missing these crucial shots.
Unfortunately, k1llsen, that's been a running theme. He has struggled to land these crucial rails in these past couple of rounds. The first round, he didn't really have an issue, but 2 and 3, it's been a turnaround completely. vo0 in the driver's seat.
Not surprised to see those shots miss. I mean, just look how small that target is from this distance, and that's being zoomed in.
And Anarchy with the hoverboard, fast mobility, the air mobility as well. Not an easy champion to hit himself.
See vo0 trying to bait on that heavy armor. We can see k1llsen nowhere near it.
Yeah, he doesn't know though, does he? k1llsen, in fact, near the mega. vo0 would have heard it collected. And there we go, he's going as quickly as possible. He wants to try and take this trade. He wants to exchange heavy for mega. And he has achieved that.
It's one of those things again, you know, players being careful, crouching around, trying to listen out for these audio cues. He heard k1llsen pick up mega health, went straight to heavy armor, determined to trade that out. In their round 4, this could be the last round of the map. Now, if k1llsen has anything to say about it, approaching the 2-minute mark.
If vo0 gets 1 good fight, he's in complete control of the map.
I'm trying to use the wall jump to get some damage, but unfortunately putting himself in the air where he's going to be free to get railed.
And there's a good, actually a really good call there.
Look at the health on k1llsen, look at how little health he has left.
Oh! He managed to get the mega at the last possible second. That's so fortunate for k1llsen. The missed rail! He's still alive, but for how long?
Oh, that was so close as well. vo0 was so close to taking down the Nyx. Oh, he has the ambush, and there we go. k1llsen goes down immediately after this fight takes place, and now Slash again. k1llsen trying to bring this one back. 2.5 minutes. The halfway point is gone on the round, and vo0 is now in the lead.
Great decision going in for that lightning gun. I mean, he acknowledged that he'd just picked up mega. There is no possible way k1llsen can restack back up to an even remotely high amount. Lightning gun would have finished the job. Now he's in control once more. k1llsen's on that Slash, but so far hasn't really been able to get a huge amount going. Slash was the champion. He made that wrong call in the last minute and gave vo0 that opening.
Oh, vo0 very low, but there's the injection popped. Just trying to chase him, but vo0 being very slippery.
That's the difference Slash will have for Anarchy. You may think that because they're both small, little, light, agile champions, they have similar health, but on the contrary, Slash significantly healthier than Anarchy. Here comes the LG trade.
What a jump popped! Oh, what a mid-air from vo. And that was a mid-air on a slash. That was plasma trail. That was a high-speed max velocity mid-air rocket.
Impressive rocket indeed. I mean, just what a shot. Forcing him onto Ranger, and it's now 1.5 minutes left. Ranger versus Anarchy. I mean, vo, he can now start to play this defensive game. He has no reason to overextend. If he thinks he can take a frag, by all means, go for it. But now, if he thinks there's even a chance he'll go down, he can just get out of there. With the injection popped as well, instant health, speed boost, k1llsen has to try and chase him down.
This is going to be tough for k1llsen. 1 minute and 15 seconds left on the clock. This is Anarchy, has injection available. 77 life 2 overstacked. Mega health gets picked up again. Every single mega that he picks up with this little time left is going to be so great for vo to just keep this lead untouchable.
k1llsen has no other choice now. He has 1 minute to take out 2 champions, otherwise this map is going to go down.
Could this be the start? Is k1llsen going to get this? The injection is popped. vo is still alive, but he is below. This is a bad place to be, and k1llsen is low on life himself. He has to back off. vo able to keep himself alive, but unfortunately k1llsen now going to have to try and top himself up as well as taking down 2 champions in 40 seconds. This is going to be a hard ask.
Now, vo's dodging there was superb as well. Missing that rail, but still in control, and even if he did minimal damage on that rocket, the important thing is he's just been told that k1llsen was in fact there, which means he's got to be by heavy armor, and now he's already moved back.
Opting to go down, taking the fight. Hang on! And gets the frag. 15 seconds. vo, if he goes for Nick, he's going to have the ghost walk. What's he go with here? He can choose health. Actually, he's delaying his respawn.
Yep, he's been delaying his respawn. He knows he has to wait it out. And now he's got a Ghost Walk if he needs it. 5 seconds. Here he comes using the Ghost Walk to survive. He has to get direct. Has he even got enough time? No! He doesn't. vo takes the map. And that was just so well calculated at those final moments.
Yeah, vo played the absolute last few seconds of that map really well. You know, making his respawn take as long as physically possible with just a few seconds he had left to go. And then picking Nyx with the Ghost Walk, that is like 2 or 3 seconds of invisibility just by itself. That is running the clock as much as possible. And even then, if he had 2 extra more seconds, k1llsen might have got the frag there. So had he not delayed his respawn, k1llsen might have actually had the time to kill him at the end. All those little decisions micromanaged at the end is why vo was able to take that map.
I mean, that final exchange, I believe it was on the second round where it went 1-1, where k1llsen was in control like 95%.
That was the turning point. That one mistake to not ride the clock when you had an almost guaranteed round. That was the turning point.
I feel like it kind of created 2 scenarios. The first was when vo managed to snatch that comeback away. His rails were on point, his accuracy was superb, he was aggressive, he was just playing out of his mind. So it's likely that after pulling off that comeback, he was in a situation where he essentially went, right, let's do this. I've got this chance, I've been given a lifeline, I'm going to run away with it, and it allowed him to play better. Is there a possibility that k1llsen struggled to kind of recover from what had just happened? Because that's always possible as well.
I mean, there's a few things that happen in that kind of situation. Obviously, the person who makes the mistake now has to try and forget about that, or it's now going to be playing on their mind. The person that basically made the comeback from it, because it wasn't like it was 100% a complete throw by k1llsen, and vo was able to make the most of the situation and get the return frag immediately. Like, vo played it really well considering what happened. It seemed that was where k1llsen's momentum kind of ended, and that's where vo's momentum really started to skyrocket, and he ran that through to the rest of the entire map. However, going on to Corrupted Keep for the second map, this was k1llsen's choice, and k1llsen going for Galena and Ranger and Nyx, so k1llsen going to be foregoing for the Galena this time, and vo sticking with the tried and true.
Well, the rail, it actually benefited vo more in Blood Covenant. I know the first round, it was the k1llsen that we all know and love, where it was just good accuracy with that rail, and it was the small little champions that he likes to use all the time. Nyx was a star performer as always. But in Corrupted Keep, I actually think, funny enough, taking the rail away from vo when he's riding this much momentum is going to be quite useful. But I mean, I'd just be worried about Anarchy on Corrupted Keep. It's one of the best maps for him without a shadow of a doubt. vo's riding all of this momentum. He is clearly pumped. I don't know whether you guys heard it on the microphones, but the second vo took that map, there is a fair few of the Maestro crew in that room just to the left of us cheering him on. I mean, he has the absolute amount of support there. There are a lot of people cheering him on, and that's just going to give you good morale. And good morale is exactly what you need when you're 1 map away from moving on.
Well, when they played at Regionals, k1llsen was able to take it. It was close, but k1llsen was the winner. They're getting the rematch now at the Quake World Championships live in Dallas, Texas. This is where it counts. This is the absolute defining match for both of these players, and there could be just 1 map left in it. But even then, vo, we actually know how good his Anarchy is and how good Anarchy can be on this map under certain situations, but he's got Sorlag right there. Sorlag on this is like her playground. So much small space to just hit those crucial assets.
Now vo going Anarchy first again. I mean, I would be surprised if we ever see him change away from this. I'm expecting Anarchy first every single round regardless, but very weak now. Going in for the dire orb. k1llsen actually trying to follow through with the kill. He is significantly healthier.
Ooh, little tiny bit of LG damage coming through. k1llsen starting off on this Ranger though. Ranger just having that trump card, the dire orb, being able to insta-kill at any point if you are accurate enough. It is probably one of the hardest frags in the game to get. I think you can do it. It can be a complete momentum shift.
I think landing that on... He's got a reward right there. I think landing the dire orb on an Anarchy though is probably one of the hardest things you can do because of that air movement. But you can see how fast vo is maneuvering around this map constantly.
Oh, the fake out by k1llsen. He started to fight, making it look like he wasn't going to teleport, and then as soon as vo fought back, he then decided to teleport.
Oh, this is really bad for k1llsen though. He's going in for the heavy armor as well. vo is going to get heavily stacked. k1llsen, he's got full health, but already, the suicide! Oops!
Oh, k1llsen unfortunately fumbling that frag. He's going to go down, lose his Ranger. Nyx is now out, and vo has the lead already a minute into this first round.
The problem is the rocket launcher is all k1llsen has, but hang on a minute, he put it to good use. vo took so much damage in that exchange, fresh off the spawn as well. I just like the fact that the rocket launcher was still there from k1llsen's dead body, so vo able to get all of his ammo back without having to go to the traditional location. I wonder if that might actually mess with k1llsen a little bit, if k1llsen expects him to stock up on rockets. But vo with the champion advantage on a map like this, it's always going to be how long? Wow, survives with 17 HP.
Now, when you survive with as little health as that, when it is the same gun, no abilities used, it comes down to just a split second of aiming. And again, vo is able to pull off ahead, catches k1llsen early. k1llsen only has a nail gun, it seems, but he is near the LG and the mega health, so k1llsen can get himself nice and stacked at the very least.
Now, we haven't seen a huge amount of Galena in this World Championship. For those that are watching that are new, obviously Galena's real attributes come from her totem. She places a totem, it will do damage to an enemy, and it will heal her. On a matchup like Duel, when she can give herself 50 health whenever she wants, it can be a huge game changer because the totem doesn't disappear when you've been healed. It will do both at the same time.
But we can't forget one of the biggest things about her, the area denial on the totems, being able to put them at the exit of a teleport. Accidentally running into that Maestro health. vo, I should say, taking a lot of damage from that totem by itself. Rise, we're talking about it. But now he's back to the wall and 10 health. k1llsen takes him off.
Because the important thing there was not just the fact that the totem going off told k1llsen exactly where vo was. Wait, he's rushing him on respawn. vo's in so much trouble. Here comes the Virtua comeback.
Okay, so I think it's quite appropriate that right as you're talking about totems doing damage on impact, that was the one mistake that has turned this around completely for k1llsen. Walking into that totem let k1llsen know exactly where he was, which got him a frag, which got him the mega health, which then let him take out vo on respawn. That one mistake has brought k1llsen back into this round where it was looking like a guaranteed loss.
It's amazing how much one little error can punish you at a straight 3 champion comeback.
Galena comebacks, boy. It is Quake World Championships. It is the corrupted keep. We have seen her do magical things on this map and stuff just like that. Going into the next round, who do you think k1llsen's going to start with?
I have no idea. I feel like I'm not sure if k1llsen will go with Galena first all the time because really, when he caught vo was he just like come off a fight and already. By the way, that was just ridiculous. But either way, the Galena's putting in loads of work. But as you can clearly see, not a one Galena sort of a player right here. This Ranger's still putting in massive amount of work.
You did literally just say that one of the hardest frags in the game is trying to get a dire orb telefrag kill on an Anarchy. But even if that wasn't a telefrag, the dire orb does 100 damage on impact. That early into the game, if vo didn't have like enough armor, that even on impact would have killed. It didn't even need the telefrag, but he got it just because he had that confidence.
I've heard those footsteps, but I think more so using it as a chance to establish some of that distance. It's going to be a while before either the Mega or the Heavy spawn. Boys foresight.
Both of them crouching, both trying to hide their footsteps, but you can't trick the eyes. Still though, I mean, we've been talking about momentum shifts all series, but I mean, can you get any more than we've seen? Also trying to chase him down with the rocket launcher, not getting too much damage, but
we very nearly saw what Ranger can do best. Collecting the mega health and teleporting towards heavy armor, collecting both at exactly the same time, but
indeed,
not quite.
I mean, back to what I was saying briefly, vo had so much momentum going into this round and most of that first round of this map, but k1llsen, just one play has shifted around completely, and vo seems to really be struggling to collect himself back to what we saw before.
It's how you handle this kind of situation. Use it to your advantage, and k1llsen, definitely the one in control so far, especially with that champion lead. Vu can't really challenge the heavy, so q1llsen taking both of those power-ups so far in this round. Oh no, caught him in the middle of the air with the LG. He's in big trouble now. No choice but to try and pick him off with the nail gun, and the heavy machine gun sorts him out.
So q1llsen now with this Ranger looking really strong. Vu by himself, back to the wall, manages to get out the side, so not as easy to pin down. Ghost Walk is popped. Is q1llsen going to try and chase? Perhaps Mega Health Equip any second. We can see Vu nowhere near. Vu so low on health.
Just going to try and get to that location a little bit quicker. Heavy armor still hasn't spawned, so one spawn. I mean, this is a hard ask to come back from. q1llsen so full of health, full of armor. Vu himself only 50 HP. The 25 armor isn't really going to help him in this situation either. And here he comes, q1llsen, with another round.
That's
Clean.
2 rounds swiftly done for q1llsen, and it all started off a k1llsen comeback out of completely nowhere. 2 rounds to 0. q1llsen 1 round away from tying things up. Blood Covenant. I mean, this is almost like a complete reverse from what we saw before. This is basically what Vu did to q1llsen before, but this was the map choice for q1llsen, so definitely probably one of his most comfortable. Definitely seeming that way.
Absolutely a faster map than Blood Covenant, that's for sure. Just a complete change of pace. And that's what Corrupted Keep does best. The fact that q1llsen spawned near the rocket launcher means he has got, it really is the super weapon of this map, is the rocket launcher.
But a big thing is what you mentioned before. You know, this is a big thing of Corrupted Keep is that it doesn't have a railgun on it. Vu got so much out of the railgun on Blood Covenant that obviously not having it seems to be really hurting his damage output from a lot of the ranges. There's point blank where q1llsen has just been getting the edge in a lot of these fights. A big part of it is down to his Dire Orb usage. He has been hitting some crazy throws with it. And if he can continue to do so, he is going to be so hard to take down. But Vu now with his Anarchy, q1llsen waiting out. I'll let the patience there from both Vu and q1llsen are wanting to commit there completely hard.
So I mean, with Vu being 1 round down, that doesn't... You can't count this guy out being in this situation. He did pull off the miraculous comeback on Blood Covenant, and it started everything. q1llsen was unable to prevent that snowball effect. It's definitely possible that we'll see it again, but q1llsen would have picked this map for a reason.
There we go, there's a prediction, but didn't get too much damage. 14 isn't ideal on someone that squishy, but any damage is better than none for sure, especially if they've got stacked up like Vu, managing to pick up that mega health.
Definitely a slower round than we've seen before. Vu needs to be careful. I definitely think he knows that.
Seems zipping left to right, Vu really being as careful as possible. I mean, you have to be cautious. I mean, this is single elimination action. You have no room for error. You have no safety net. If you lose, you are out. It is as simple as that. Vu currently in the lead. q1llsen playing out of his mind to bring this one back. Taking him for this fight.
Oh, wow!
Connects, and he might lose for this, but hang on a minute. The injection is popped, giving him a little bit of time.
q1llsen's going in. He's going in for the kill. Finally switches out to the LG. But was it too late? No, the rocket takes him out. q1llsen with 9 HP left in the tank.
Vu has the Solar. If he can catch q1llsen now, he might be able to take this frag, but already healing himself up as q1llsen 75 health and the heavy armor. Vu now going to be a bit of a bad situation to just try and burst down q1llsen immediately, unless he can just get the perfect acid spit.
He's meeting him head off, but the fact that q1llsen was able to sort of stay at that nice range and catch him around the corner prevented Vu from doing that last-minute acid spit at point blank, something that we see Sorlag do to such good effect. It really seems like Vu has not been able to do much with k1llsen this entire series. Not k1llsen, sorry, Sorlag, of course.
Hasn't worked out for him so much. In Blood Covenant, we just didn't get the chance to see it much because he was playing so well, but here, a couple of rounds back-to-back, he just hasn't had the effect that we've seen other Sorlag so far. Still, though, a very strong champion in the hands of a decent player. We know Vu make it work. He's picked her for a reason.
Time is not on his side. He has 2 minutes left. If he is unable to get anything going.
Champion, though. Only down a single champion. And this is a situation that we found q1llsen before, and q1llsen just out of nowhere with an explosive full comeback. You know, don't count him out. Vu can definitely do it, but Vu has slowly not been looking as tidy in this map as we saw before, and at least in the first round.
I just feel like the map has kind of gone against the way Vu is approaching the game currently, in that sort of very, very heavy hit-and-run style. It's not as easy to adapt if you haven't got access to a railgun, and the Corrupted Keep will take that option away from you. Whereas q1llsen, happy just almost just straight up brawling in essence.
Maybe this is usually where we'd start to see people start to adopt a keep away style, that sort of, you know, playing the long game, playing for the clock, but Corrupted Keep's such a hard map to do that. You don't have a lot of space to move around.
Well, really, if Vu catches q1llsen at any point blank, q1llsen will die because he'll get melted down by the acid. He's got a rocket launcher, LG with 135 left, and that's plenty of stuff ready. But he's got to make something happen. We're going into that 1 minute warning. Now, the clock is against him 100%.
1-minute warning.
Look at llsen just playing to avoid. Trying to avoid fights as much as possible. It's working out for him really well.
Hey,
At any point he gets cornered, he has the dire orb to escape.
If q1llsen can survive for 50 seconds, it's going to go straight back to an even playing field, 1-1. q1llsen needs this, and if he takes it with a 3 straight, that's a lot of momentum too.
Indeed, 40 seconds left. llsen might be 40 seconds away from winning the round, but vo manages to get him. The dire orb connects, and vo survives. 40 HP, mega health. vo is given a lifeline, still in the round.
He's actually got a huge amount of resources for this next frag. If he catches q1llsen immediately, he's only got a rocket launcher available, but I think knowing that, vo doesn't want to risk that. He takes one direct, and that's 100, that's all of his health gone.
llsen having a little bit of time to build up that weaponry, the rocket launcher, lightning gun if he can. He's in the right part of the map. At the very least, vo is able to control the stacks.
But I think the call to action for vo will be get that Ghost Walk out of q1llsen, because the second that Ghost Walk is gone, she is just so vulnerable to what Sorlag brings to the table. Sudden death, one last champion.
Sudden death has been started. One frag away from winning the round. If llsen gets this next frag, he's tied things up. If vo does, he might start the momentum train and bringing himself back into the map, beating q1llsen, but it's going to be difficult. q1llsen has been looking very strong, and he's just slowly...
He doesn't know that q1llsen's gone invisible, but q1llsen, no! Not able to get a single rocket on deck! He did surprise vo, but just no reward for it.
That's unfortunate for q1llsen. He had the jump on vo. If he got a little bit more damage, this could have been different, but he might go down here. Accuracy, no, barely alive is vo and q1llsen. So weak are both of these players right now.
Whoever catches who with an LG right here is going to take it, but... that was too close to call. Here he comes! Wow, 81 damage on the rocket, is that enough? No! Uses the Ghost Walk again, does q1llsen pursue? He does indeed! Surprises vo, and there we go. 3 straight rounds, and it's 1-1 again.
That was a complete turnaround. q1llsen just did not look to be in control at all in the start of the second map, or the first map at all. But by the end, he had brought himself back to a ridiculous degree, and now we're at a final map. I think the majority of our games today are going to go down to this third map. I mean, just with the talent we've got here playing and who they're against, there is no easy match, there's no easy brackets, and matches like this I expect will be a recurring thing.
At the last minute right there, if that invisibility didn't work, that would have 100% given vo the opening he was looking for. Very similar to what we saw in Blood Covenant. But I just love the boldness where he goes, I understand how much damage I've done. And that exchange near Mega as well was way too close to call. The fact that q1llsen didn't pursue it, and he just sort of painted the area in ticking damage over time. The second q1llsen put a toe in that, he would have died. It was just really well played, nice patience, and q1llsen just waited for his final moment, and he took it and he ran away with it.
So I'm fairly sure that the next map is going to be Ruins of Sarnath to finish things off. Now, this is going to be interesting for both of the players because vo, Anarchy, has been his strongest champion by far. Yeah, that really sort of goes without saying at this point. Anarchy, very strong on Ruins of Sarnath, a great choice for that champion. But q1llsen, Slash, and Nyx both have their place on this map as well. So I think this is just going to be a match of who could just play it better, because this is now going to be the most important single one match of Quake Champions for both of these players, because whoever wins, you advance through the bracket to win even more money. And if you lose, that is it. You are out, eliminated from the Quake World Championships.
Quite funny, really, how we saw ll1llsen picked. We only saw ll1llsen essentially one time. Well, make that 2.
Make that another time.
But the first and only time we saw ll1llsen on Corrupted Keep, she was the entire reason the comeback started. That one error, that one time vo just forgot about the totem and just ran right on it. Gave him the knowledge, he knew exactly where he was, and more importantly, knew that because Anarchy stepped on it, he is now going to be super weak, and he went in for it.
I know hindsight sucks. Hindsight, it's easy for anyone to just say, you see, the mistake you made, you shouldn't have done that. But when you can really point it back down to a single moment, that moment in that map was when vo accidentally walked onto a totem. Because that basically lost him as Anarchy. It meant that his Sorlag spawned right next to q1llsen, who was able to take out straight away, and then it just didn't stop from there. The round after round after round, it all started off that one moment. However, going into a fresh new map, 0 rounds apiece, one map for both players. One game separates these guys from moving on to the tournament and staying in and going home.
Really excited to see what happens, really. It's impossible to call. We did expect a 2-1 result, and we're going to get it regardless of what happens. These guys have fought for so long, and they fought for so hard, but ultimately one of these guys is going to move on, and one has to go home here.
So q1llsen hasn't gone with Slash at all this time. It's going to be Nyx, Ranger, ll1llsen. ll1llsen doing a lot of work on Corrupted Keep. His Ranger really hitting the mark on some of these dire orbs. And Nyx just being q1llsen's strongest champion, I think. This is a perfect team composition for q1llsen.
Now vo Sticking with the same comp also. Sorlag once more. Sorlag on this map, also highly dangerous.
Oh, Vu forced to phase shift straight away.
So k1llsen forced to phase shift. In a bad spot right here. Not a huge amount of damage on the rockets, but wow! One comes through, forcing the injection.
And now he's k1llsen very low. But there's the rail, but no health yet. Vu not quite close enough. Vu picking up the mega health at the very least. Vu able to salvage that.
Going in for the kill. He is more than healthy. He's going to seize the first blood, but has to stay on top of things. Corrupted keep. Didn't work out so good when he got the first blood.
Well, it's going to be important. I think it's crucial for Vu to take this first round. Because after how the last map went, oh, ever so slight!
Oh no!
k1llsen just inches away from connecting that dire orb, and Vu was able to punish him for that mistake.
Now, we said that when you go for a dire orb, that's an all or nothing play. And unfortunately, we just saw what happens if it doesn't work out on a delicious rocket to take the first round. k1llsen didn't quite work out for him that time.
Also, Vu sending that message at the end. Not only did he just mid-air k1llsen, completely unnecessarily, he destroyed his totem right in front of him.
Take that, Galena.
Still though, Vu, I mean, managing to bring that first round back after such a disastrous second map, being able to get that round on the board has showed himself, right, I could still win rounds here, I can still win this map. But k1llsen cannot count him out. He has this Nyx, he has that Ghost Walk. Obviously the railgun is now back into play for both players, as we're not on Corrupted Keep anymore.
I mean, I could watch Vu for hours when it comes to his Anarchy mobility. I mean, this guy is a painkiller god. Anarchy, the painkiller movement. I mean, this really is a style that Vu has enjoyed taking on board for Quake Champions. And that's a huge damage! k1llsen forced to Ghost Walk. Vu trying to make a prediction. Where has he reappeared? Nowhere near, incidentally.
Right, so this is a good situation for Vu to be in. k1llsen, at the very least, able to pick up the mega health, so keeping himself very much alive.
But k1llsen's done a great job of being able to restack. He was in big trouble with that Ghost Walk, just getting him out of danger completely. It is only one round. It was a dominating round, but k1llsen, he takes this. That's
One
it.
round and 1 minute. It is a lead, but it's not much to sit on at the moment. However, if Vu can take this first frag of the second round, then it will be a different story altogether.
And I mean, on Ruins of Sarnath, I mean, absolutely.
Indeed, you can just see this dramatic change in pace when someone has that lead and they know that they instantly have the clock working with them, then they can play at their own pace. They really can command what's going on at the time.
Trying to really seize control of this Mega. Doesn't want k1llsen to get anywhere near it. Having a Mega health.
He is content sitting quite far away. I'm not sure if he's looking for an ambush here, using that mobility.
I like that.
Wall jump.
Very silent too. Laying the trap. Does Vu bite?
Actually, I like that k1llsen. k1llsen heard that Mega Health had been picked up and goes straight down to Heavy Armor. k1llsen really playing that cautious game. Just making sure he was safe to pick up the Heavy Armor that we know is so important on these
There isn't a massive amount of time separating the respawn time between the two either. Which means that, you know, we'll see who can take it.
So they're 2 minutes in, there's that caution being exercised for sure. 2 minutes in, again, 3 minutes left to go. Mega Health, oh! Quick rail from k1llsen out of nowhere.
Just want to remind you guys at home, that little pause, it wasn't a network issue. The players did not see the pause, it was just a spectator issue. Just to sort of clear the air there, for those that may have wondered.
The thing is, the players aren't seeing that. The players are playing as normal. It's just a spectator thing, so nothing to worry about. Still though, 2.5 minutes in, halfway through. No frags in this second round.
I mean, no one wants to go out here. You cannot let one frag decide the round, and a level of passiveness that we haven't really seen throughout the previous maps.
Oh, that's the second time k1llsen has done that. He's just jumped off the wall, got a quick rail, and then just disappeared into the shadows once again.
But I mean, that's a great call, because if she can wall jump and get to an area that you're not really expecting her to be, she may get those really cheeky little rails here and there, because you're not used to a champion being in that location, that high up on the wall. Who does that?
It's like whack-a-mole, but one of the moles has a railgun.
Exactly.
There's a hole that you didn't see.
There's no way Vu's going to follow through that teleporter.
It's got to be careful now. k1llsen is in the lead. Oh! I mean, just having armor at this point is important enough, considering that k1llsen has just been hitting these such precise rails on what we already know is a very small target in Anarchy.
k1llsen's going to have his Ghost Walk available once more. Definitely caught sight of him down there near that, but
I feel like they're not really getting clean sight of each other. You know, both players are kind of just seeing them run past. like a doorway or left to right. However, k1llsen, he's forcing this fight. He's chased down, but vo with the prediction, trying to cover his back with the rocket.
Yeah, he knows that k1llsen's likely to be there. He saw it going in for the ejection, trying to survive. 27 HP. That's really not much at all.
Who's going to have to try and be as cautious as possible here with no armor whatsoever. k1llsen hitting one of these rails he's been hitting all match is going to be make or break for the end of the round. Sudden death, 1 minute away, and still no frags in the second round. 1 minute warning, we've just passed.
Just shows what Quake champions do can be all about. Another rail, but so far the rails have not been enough to secure the frag, just to deter vo from certain locations. He can't really fight it. k1llsen sets the trap, but vo ever so slightly doesn't bite.
A lot of damage coming through there, but again, vo very low on armor. Oh, that shot could have been the game changer for k1llsen.
That one just sends shivers up your spine right there. So close, and it 100% would have taken the frag. k1llsen would have been up.
Yeah, vo doesn't want to commit to that. If he decided to move forward, k1llsen would have seen him below, but k1llsen ready to intercept. Still with not as much damage as ideal, but k1llsen, his reads have been so smart on where he thinks vo is going to go. He gets these crazy shots, he just can't get the follow-up. I don't think he has the space to do so.
Well, it's looking 100% like we are going into sudden death. This battle is going to be Anarchy and Nyx. One of them has to go out, and it's going to be the round for it.
Look at all the holes in the floor in that one area, right, where he's standing right now. That just goes to show how much of a contested area this is for Rockets between both of these players.
It's pretty much the most close quarters location on this map.
Here, the map tells a story, and that story is this is where they're fighting.
k1llsen actually saw vo there, but because he had a rocket, didn't really want to fire. The rocket was never going to connect. vo would have heard the rocket as well, so opting not to just take the shot at all.
Oh, rocket's not quite connecting.
Oh, no.
Now, here we go. vo is now in the driver's seat. So much damage on the side of k1llsen, but vo doesn't want to chase it at all. Heavy armor we can see is up. There we go. vo picks it up immediately. Mega health probably going to get traded out. I don't think vo quite has the space.
The shadows hide.
Immediately doesn't want to risk it. Ghost walk out of there, and he had the gauntlet as well. Here's the danger. k1llsen has no rockets. He needs to get ammo for that rocket launcher, because vo's going to be able to really just bully him in these exchanges. He has to contest it with an LG. He has nothing else. I wonder if vo's going to allow him to get the rocket launcher, though.
He does have Ghost Walk up already, though. Oh, shot's not quite anything. This is good for vo. The Ghost Walk just picks up again. k1llsen, that's twice he has been a hit away from death, and vo just hasn't been able to chase him down. But k1llsen, I think it's more credit to k1llsen's evasion at this point. He's just been surviving so well.
It's definitely a mixture of both. Like, vo is controlling that rocket launcher location. He just stood there in that doorway, didn't let k1llsen in. And because k1llsen hasn't got a rocket, it's been very hard for him to sort of deal with that sort of mid-range game when they're exchanging back and forth. vo's able to just pepper those rockets down, and k1llsen has nothing to contest it with.
I actually love the way k1llsen has been favoring these hourglass pickups too, just to try and get as much of that cooldown away as he can, to have that Ghost Walk whenever possible. So many of the situations, if he didn't have Ghost Walk, he would be dead meat for sure. But his managing on this cooldown has been what's keeping him alive.
Now, k1llsen would have picked up some rockets, so now he's good to go. The problem is, by getting that rocket launcher did allow vo to pick up both Heavy and Mega.
Another rail though, just to undo all that work from the heavy armor and the mega health. Oh wow, another shot!
Good catch, really good catch. Now that one little armor does mean that vo's going to survive 2 rails instead of 1.
Stopwatch.
Mega to see to it also. Here's k1llsen springing the trap, but vo again, just ready. Not falling for
no
it.
injection for vo, but Ghost Walk up, k1llsen can't force it. I mean, both players being so careful right now. Ghost Walk is popped. k1llsen doesn't have it anymore, and the armor. Oh! k1llsen just playing a very big hit and run style, just trying to get his single shots where he can take them and then getting away before he can take return damage.
k1llsen's done an amazing job of just not getting caught out. So many occasions where he could have easily gone down, but it's also when he uses the Ghost Walk, his reads and where he knows vo is not going to look has been on point.
Almost 3 minutes into the sudden death, we're going into almost like as much time as we've seen. So much LG coming through, k1llsen gets taken out, vo manages to clutch that frag and brings himself to match point on the verge of eliminating k1llsen from the Quake World Championships.
He picked his moment. He picked his moment and he ran away with it, but now k1llsen has to take 3 straight rounds. This is a tall order. vo, a legend of Painkiller and Arena FPS. k1llsen, a legend himself. One of these guys is going out. He's gone Galena first.
vo is in the position to maybe try and stop this from happening, but we can see k1llsen starting with Galena. That's a... Wow, that was such a shot, but starting with Galena, if he can set up, if he can get some momentum going straight away, he's already made full comebacks with Galena by herself, like when he was the only champion that he had available, starting with her. I mean, if you're going to make a change, you do it now when you don't have any more room to make these errors.
This is the last resort. You know, he's not tried Galena first yet. He's putting it all on this pick right now. It has to work. There is no other option. He's gone in for the injection, so he survived. The divide between health is so significant. llsen hasn't really got much to fight with at all. 5 seconds away, he might be able to heal himself up with a totem, but will he save it for later?
Oh, a lot of damage though coming through. Or at least I should say enough for llsen to be deterred from chasing that through. Mega health going the way of Vu. Now the problem Galena's going to have here is she doesn't have the mobility.
Patience.
Whereas Nyx has the Ghost Walk to just instantly...
Oh wow, that was a delicious rail right there.
That was a really nice shot.
Could have easily missed that one. So close range. And if that missed...
Oh, that's what he needs. Landing head first to the water. Anarchy is away and llsen taking that first frag.
llsen's come alive. He's not missing the rails anymore.
No, the rails have been the deciding factor for llsen here. The ones he's hitting are game-changing.
But that range, I mean, this is a range that llsen's going to be doing much better. And there's the totem just to undo some of that damage as well. And the totem will remain. You know, you'll be able to run over it later.
Taking damage, not the end of the world for Galena. She does reduce the cooldown on her totem by picking up health. Oh no! Isn't gonna matter. Vu takes away Galena. And now Nyx is back. Vu, Sorlag versus Nyx. Galena is off the table.
You're almost convinced that llsen was going to win that fight, but 12 HP in it.
Close but no cigar. llsen on this Nyx.
Totems all disappeared.
All we see is that the asset, the Ghost Walk popped immediately. llsen has been saving himself so well with that Ghost Walk.
That for the floor, saving him in that exchange, but seconds away from heavy armor. Vu's absolutely going to collect this one uncontested. Is the fight going to take place near Mega? Will llsen try and select it? Will he deem it too much of a risk?
Acid Spit not up for a while. Ghost Walk up any second now. Catches him. Doesn't have Ghost Walk. Misses the point blank rail. That could be disastrous for Vu, but llsen doesn't manage to get it yet, but he is chasing the kill. llsen takes out Sorlag. llsen starting this comeback if he can.
That was a really unfortunate exchange for Vu, just not able to land any of his shots at that range. llsen given another lifeline, one he will happily take.
llsen is making these opportunities. He is forcing them to happen. Still though, Vu now down on Nyx. We saw what happened in the last map when Vu was in the lead and llsen was able to shift the momentum completely in his favor. Vu struggled to get it back. If llsen wins this round, he might start something similar.
Oh, here comes llsen. Is he ready? They both land a rocket, but llsen's does way more damage. And with the mega health combined, Vu is in a huge situation. And there we go, the prediction on the teleporter. Ready to go. 2-1. I mean, llsen, he's alive. He's come alive. He's woken up.
I think that was like half prediction, half reaction. The prediction was just to be in the position, and the reaction was seeing him go through and firing the rocket immediately to do enough damage. Vu still very much on match point. llsen has his work cut out for him, starting with Galena again. This one adjustment of starting Galena instead could be a deciding factor here.
Immediately with the totem, Vu wants to get rid of it. Sometimes you'll see a player sort of wait and deliberately not take the totem out because they don't want to tell the opponent where they are. Vu, I think he just wants to get rid of as many totems as possible. Oh. Patiently waiting.
The ambush, a lot of damage coming through the rocket. llsen does have the totem available to top himself up, so damage not going to be quite as disastrous here. Oh, still gets hit there. The totem now gone. It'll be 20 seconds before he gets that back.
Mega health and heavy armor. That's a tanky Galena. I mean, because of her natural health and armor pool, she is deceivingly tanky when she collects those at full health. And now she's hit a rail. Vu's in trouble. Even with that injection, he's not going to be able to survive a rail hit without armor.
There's that totem placed at the exit of the teleporter, most likely trying to get this mega health. I mean, you see just how much the mega health will take the cooldown off of that totem. Almost halving it by itself.
I like this choice actually. llsen acknowledging that he has mega. There is no way that Vu has what he needs to tank those rails. So instead of going for heavy armor, he tried to go in for the kill first, just in case he used that teleporter.
May the power heal you.
There are a couple of really sneaky little totems here. I don't really think Vu's going to be ready for a couple of those, especially the one he just placed.
He did walk into a couple of encrypted keep, which he paid dearly for, but doing that on the final map.
Oh, zigged when he should have zagged, but not a huge amount of damage taken.
Still, llsen has been positioning himself really well to just top himself up as soon as he takes any damage whatsoever. It's like vo just being a bit hesitant now. I mean, just the fact that k1llsen is there means you have to be careful when you navigate. Normally we see Anarchy and Slash and all these players with these really fast movement. They'll just run around freely, just trying to get as much speed and momentum as possible. You can't do that versus k1llsen, because if you just walk around a corner into a totem, that's a lot of damage you're going to be taking.
I love how q1llsen's been able to just control. He's been so much damage.
Still, the Mega Hell tanked most of it. k1llsen's still very much healthy. Ball drop down, this could be good for him. Oh, k1llsen doesn't have the mobility options, but vo missed it. A crucial rail.
Yep.
That's very low himself.
That missed rail, that's very unfortunate. It means that vo really can't press the advantage at all. Here comes the fight. k1llsen, he's caught sight. Unbelievably weak, tries to get out with the injection, but if k1llsen lands one good rail here.
Oh, totem! Oh, what we were saying about running around freely trying to get away, and vo runs straight into a totem. We saw k1llsen place that. He laid the trap, and vo fell for a hook, line, and sinker.
I did say that I do not think vo is going to be ready for that totem in particular. Like, just no one, people don't plant one there. No one was ready for that.
Hey, k1llsen plants one there, and it gets him a frag that might win him the round at this rate. vo has his work out for him, gets taken down immediately. k1llsen looking to even things up. Rounds 2-2 on k1llsen of all things.
He's got an amazing spawn. If vo gets hit right here, he's gone into the Ghost Walk, but his options to get away are so limited. He's so weak. Totems left, right, and center. The enemy is all around him.
No armor as well. Still no armor. He gets hit by anything of substance here. It looks like he might try and do it. Doesn't have a Ghost Walk. k1llsen on the rail just to finish things off. k1llsen ties things up. 2 rounds apiece. We are on reverse match point for k1llsen. 1 round each for both players will advance them through.
The stakes are higher than they ever have been before. vo looked so good in those 2 rounds, but k1llsen on the verge of a 3-round straight comeback.
And starting with k1llsen again, k1llsen, he knows the adjustment has worked. vo also starting with Sorlag instead, thinking it's a bit of a better option. I mean, Sorlag can afford to run into a few totems. He just has so much health.
Now vo really is betting it all on that Sorlag burst. I think he really wants to catch k1llsen point blank at a range where he can't really get away or contest with the acid spit. vo hasn't really gone Sorlag first before. This is the final lifeline. k1llsen made the adjustment of k1llsen first, and it's worked for 2 rounds. Is this going to work out for vo? I wonder.
I mean, seemingly little things like that can make a world of difference. But hopefully for vo it pays off. k1llsen, this adjustment has just paying off to a ridiculous degree. k1llsen playing this round beautifully.
Destroying one of those totems before he stands on it. That is going to tell k1llsen exactly where vo currently is on the map.
So see the totems there. You might think, why don't you just shoot the totems on sight? But if you do, the k1llsen player will know where you just destroyed one. Looks like vo's still trying to get rid of one anyway. I don't think he minds. He'd rather k1llsen know where he is so he can safely destroy them. Doesn't really care. Better to just get that damaging option, especially considering that's basically what cost him Anarchy last time.
k1llsen with that overcharged rail, 90 damage. Happily take that. But this does mean that I like the change to Sorlag, because while k1llsen is trying to sort of control the middle of the map like he is doing in this round, vo with the natural health and armor pool means that he's not going to be on the back foot all the time. He's not going to be forced to go in or forced to make a play because he just hasn't got the health to contest. Sorlag will never have that problem as long as she's on full health.
Things have been slowed down again. I mean, really cannot blame either player here for just being as cautious as they can. This is, I mean, we've been saying before, this is the most important map, single map for either of these players in their Quake Champions careers. Now this is the most important round of their Quake Champions careers.
vo has had he's had such a hard time landing these rails in this round. I mean, k1llsen, he's not had as much of an issue, but vo continuing to miss rail after rail. I wonder if they will punish him heavily by the end of the round.
We have to remember Sorlag is a big body target. Much easier to land these crucial shots and k1llsen when you have a accuracy that he does. That's a match made in hell if you're on the receiving end. Heavy arms will be up soon.
How many totems he has on this map as well, just controlling.
Down. He knows it's coming down. Lands in the acid though. This could be bad for k1llsen. vo isn't chasing it. vo is being as careful as possible, just picking up the heavy armor. k1llsen, if he got chased there, that could have been disastrous.
I actually wonder why vo didn't go in for the kill, because it was so weak. 8 seconds, needs to make something happen. No, k1llsen accidentally shoots the wall, but the totem to undo the damage. I do wonder why vo did not go in for that frag.
Mega health goes the way of vo. At the very least, vo's able to control these pickups. He now has a massive health and armor advantage. And 3 minutes in, are we going to have a 1 frag round? vo goes in for the kill. Loads of damage on the side, but k1llsen, 18 health remaining, trying to get out, and vo again isn't chasing.
Vu may be content just keeping k1llsen on the back foot.
This could be bad for k1llsen. He has nowhere left to run, and vo gets the frag. That could be the game ender, unless k1llsen can bring this back and take out vo Solag straight away within the next 2 minutes.
A lot of work to do. k1llsen, I mean, the stack is against him, but Nyx, if you catch a good surprise, like right there, look how much damage he did. All armor gone.
Still, though, he is near a small pickup here. 25 sounds like a low number, but it is great when used for a big champion. Catches him before k1llsen. Is he getting taken down? Not quite enough.
Oh, wait!
Oh, that's it!
Oh, no! He's dead! He didn't have the Ghost Walk available! He's now got to make a 3 straight champion comeback, and this is elimination round!
Oh, k1llsen started this entire comeback by starting with Galena instead, and vo making the exact same adjustment in this final round, going with Solag instead of Anarchy. I mean, little things like that having such a colossal impact on the game has maybe won the set for vo.
I mean,
1 minute left.
This is Quake Champions. No round is the same. If you start with a different champion, the game plan becomes so different as well. But seconds, Solag, 50
So
seconds.
tanky, and even if he loses Solag, vo can go with Nyx instead, delay that respawn.
But look,
the Ghost Walk.
is vo gonna wait here for the entire 40 seconds? Is k1llsen prepared? Here he comes, the fight, point blank, but this is where Solag wants him to be! k1llsen's in big trouble!
The damage over time ticking away. What can he do? k1llsen, he has no health. Just picked up a little bit of armor. Can he stack away, or does he have to try and take
He
this
needs
one?
a direct.
He's still sitting
He
here.
needs a direct right now! He's gonna go in for the kill! Can he get it? But is he going for it? This is so close!
20 seconds left. k1llsen needs this frag. Oh, is he going to get it? Yes, he does. vo goes down. He's going to probably wait as long as he can on this respawn. Probably go to Nyx for the Ghost Walk to delay, but k1llsen has the armor.
Speaking
He has
of delay,
rockets.
he's delaying his respawn. He wasted a good 3 or 4 seconds there. It's 5 seconds on the clock. Here comes k1llsen. He's found him, but he's got a Ghost Walk. He's popped the Ghost Walk. He can't physically get the kill. That's going to be that. vo takes the series, eliminates k1llsen. What a series we just saw.
Last champion potential. I mean, almost. It was a timeout, but what a crucial timeout. Last map, last round. What a perfect way to end that series. k1llsen got so far, did so well. Such an amazing adjustment. Almost made a full 3-round reverse comeback in the last round. But vo with the adjustment. I mean, that's what you need. Adaptability. You need to be able to adapt to what's going on. And we saw both players do that. And that's how they won.
I mean, did we expect any less from that? k1llsen almost pulled off the unthinkable live at QuakeCon for the $1 million tournament. A straight 3-round comeback to eliminate vo and take match point, but vo with just that last minute element of composure, changing and going, right, I'm gonna go Solag first, I'm going all in. And he found himself in the situation he needed to find himself.
It was just as close when they played at the regionals. These are two perfectly matched players. You know, just so much experience between them, so much, and such a difference in how they play. A clash of styles, but it makes for amazing viewing. And obviously, thanks to both those players for giving that to us in the biggest Quake Champions tournament we have ever seen.
I think the community would be heartbroken no matter who went out after a series like that, but vo with the composure, he made that last minute change, it worked out for him, and just the sheer level of clutch he was able to establish, and it's just knowledge to stay composed until the bitter end. Huge congratulations to vo, we will be seeing him later, but k1llsen, I'm so sorry to see you go, but that's the nature of this tournament. One has to go on and one has to go home. We're going to get set up into our next matches now. Thank you very much for watching that one with us. It was ridiculous. We'll be right back.